Hi, everybody. Before we get to another great interview, the Two Opinionated podcast could really use your help. And it's easy, it's free. IMDb, which is the entertainment database, imdb.com, named us a top 100 podcast. We came in at number 82. That's a big deal because there's 15 million podcasts and growing. So to be named to anybody's top 100 list, pretty big deal for us. And the way you can help is to go to imdb.com, look up the Two Opinionated podcast, and that's it. Just bringing our page up. That traffic really helps us out. Our YouTube channel is MeisterCon Pod. All we ask is that you subscribe. It's also free, but that really helps us to attract these amazing guests that we keep bringing on the program. And that's it. Two easy ways for you to support us, and we would really appreciate the help. Now let's get to that interview. Hi, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Two Opinionated. I'm so excited today. I've got actress and writer Sarah Cleveland with me. So welcome, Sarah.
Hi, thank you so much for having me.
We just found out that you spent like 10 years fairly close to me.
I did, yeah. I spent 2 years, 10 years, I said 2 years, 10 years in Louisville, Kentucky, and have actually shot in West Virginia
I
as
know we
well.
haven't figured out where yet, but we'll
I
figure it
know, I
out.
need to look that up. I'm really sorry.
That's okay. That's okay. We'll figure it out. We'll
All
figure.
right, I
I
will.
mean, usually in West Virginia, you're probably in either Wheeling, Martinsburg, Charleston, or Huntington. It's probably
Nope,
one of those.
none of the
None
above.
of those. Okay.
No, it was a very small town. I mean, we went to the to work out at the gym. It was in a school. It was in like a university or a college place. Yeah. So
That sounds about right.
and I think there were like three places to eat, maybe, and then like 100 police. I couldn't believe how many police were in this
Yes.
town. Okay, so that's a thing.
I'm pretty sure that like a quarter of the population is police.
Okay, well that explains it. I was like, are there any other people
I mean,
here?
we're such a small state and we're spread out. Like
Yeah.
LA has more people than we have in the whole state. It's just it's
Oh
a
wow.
it's a small, spread out kind of state, which is pretty nice as far as traffic and things go.
I bet. I bet.
But
Yeah, I
yeah,
felt the
you run
same here.
into a lack of restaurants and you don't have the bigger cities, which can be
Yeah.
good,
Yeah.
or it can be bad if you're a city person. But if you love the outdoors, West
I'm a
Virginia is
small
pretty
town
great.
girl at heart. I'm from a town of 15,000. My husband's from a,
Oh,
a town of 5,000. And then I mean, we just live outside of Toronto now. And I don't know if you've ever been to Toronto, but we have 16 lanes of highway.
holy
So
crap.
yeah. So it's a very different experience probably than what you have at home.
That's a lot of lanes.
That's
I
a
mean,
lot
like
of
we're
land.
in the process of trying to go from like 2 lanes to 3 or 4.
Yeah.
60 lanes.
Come join us here in Toronto. You just drive it once, you'll understand.
Well, yeah, I may join you, but I will not be driving in that mess.
I'll drive you around. It'll be fine.
Well, Sarah, let's start this way. Tell me a little bit about what got you into acting. It's such a difficult profession. What make you
Yeah.
want to be an actress?
Well, it's something I always wanted to do. I mean, when
Yeah,
I was younger, might be a little dramatic. It's funny actually because I was a really shy kid, and my dad first put me into modeling because he
yeah.
thought it would bring me out of my shell. So I did that when I was a child.
What did
And
it?
I'm sorry.
Did it bring you out of your shell?
Yes, it did. I
Okay.
definitely felt much more comfortable in my own
Yeah.
skin and probably I went from like really shy to really hyper and super outgoing. There was no happy medium. I couldn't figure out, I guess, how to go from one extreme to the other. And so when I started high school, I mean, it was something that I always wanted to do. It was a dream of mine, but it wasn't something that was really fostered or I guess understood. Or, when you have a conversation with guidance counselors and you tell them you want to be an actor, it's like, yeah, okay, but that's not actually going
Yeah.
to be a
What's your
thing.
backup plan?
Well, and I tell people that this whole backup plan thing. And anyway, I went into early childhood education, which
Yeah.
ironic, I mean, it's still something I definitely wanted to be part of as well. I always wanted to be a mom.
Yeah.
So that just seemed like the right path and I love that as well. But it wasn't until I think it was in 2000. So we're going back a little bit. It doesn't sound 2000 doesn't sound too far away until you realize it's
No,
2025 and
I
then
know. Like you think of 2000, you're like, well, we're still in the same.
yeah, it's fine.
That's a few
Right.
years ago. Nope.
Exactly. Yeah. So I answered a radio call ad back when they used to do casting calls on
Yeah.
radios for background, and it was for Disney's The Music Man, and that was the first time that I was
Oh,
on
that
set.
was Matthew Broderick.
It
Yeah.
was, yeah. And Kristen Chenoweth and Victor Garber, beautiful, beautiful group of humans to work with, especially for the first time. I had
Yeah.
no idea what I was doing, of course, and made a few mistakes along the
Of
way,
course.
but it was a really cool experience, and I was sure once I was there that that's what I was going to do with the rest of my life.
Yeah.
And then I met my husband, and he was a single father, and so I became a full-time mom, and that kind of went on the back burner a little bit. So
Yeah.
it wasn't until I want to say around 8 to 10 years ago that I really got back into it. And ironically enough, same way I answered a radio call ad and got back on set and met some great people and then kind of grew from there. And I started just saying yes to everything, which probably might, is not the right thing, but a lot of volunteer opportunities, a
Yeah.
lot of non-paying gigs before it starts making sense, I guess. But a lot of effort, a lot of work, and a lot of classes.
Oh,
And
yeah. Well,
yeah,
I've done that with the podcast. I don't tell people no if they want to take some time and come on the podcast. I'm like, come on.
my
But when you say yes to everything, you stay pretty busy.
yes, you do. Yes, you do. So yeah, and it's kind of transitioned a lot. I mean, obviously acting is where I love to be on set and I love to perform. But that's transitioned into producing and writing and now getting into directing and creating opportunities for myself and for people that I work with or that I've worked with that I really enjoy being around and so I can, spend more time with them, really. It's kind of a little selfish, I'm not gonna lie. How do I get
Well,
to
you
work
want
with
to
this
hang
person
around with
again?
people you like.
That's right. That's right. So, yeah.
Well, so how has the family taken to you going back into the entertainment business?
So I'm really lucky because, first of all, I have an incredible supportive partner. My husband and I have been married for 20 years now, and
Congrats.
um, thank you. And we have three daughters, and they're also extremely supportive, but they're also really good kids. So, and I say kids, they're not really kids anymore, but my youngest is really the one who I was more concerned about kind of getting back into that scene with travel and that sort of thing. She's 14,
Yeah.
but she's incredible. And this girl is so self-sufficient. I don't know where she came from. I don't know. I don't know. She doesn't belong, I swear, to my husband and I, but she was the one I had the most concern about, and she's wonderful and supportive. And my middle daughter, Abby, actually is my reader for all of my auditions, reluctantly
Amazing.
sometimes, but but she's really incredible. And it's not their scene, but they've been along for the ride for a few things. They've been in some movies as the younger version of me, or they've been in,
Amazing.
yeah, in some productions just kind of because they needed some extra people to fill in some spots. And so, yeah, they've been along for the ride in a whole bunch of different ways. But this weekend, for example, I was at TIFF, and when I'm away, I really miss them. But try to include them in however I can. So we might
Yeah.
FaceTime and I'll kind of show them what I'm doing, or I don't know. I probably shouldn't say this, but I was at one event where they had a candy table and I just kind of filled a couple candy bags and brought them home for them.
I think
So,
that's fair.
so they reap some of the benefits,
Nobody's
right?
going to complain about you taking candy
I
home to
wasn't the
your kid.
only mom there doing it.
That's
I'm not gonna
right.
lie. So yeah, I mean, they appreciate some of the little perks or benefits that come there, but no, they've been incredible. Yeah, I really have nothing bad to say about it. It's been really
That's
great.
awesome. I mean, it has to be a lot easier when you have that support
Oh
because
yeah.
then at least you don't have that stress. You're
Yeah,
all
for
pointing
sure.
in the right direction. So,
Well, and my husband used to travel for work and I was the one that was at home.
oh,
So
okay.
now that he's home, it's an easier transition for sure. It wasn't something I would have been able to do before, but now he's stepped into having to run the kids to where they need to be and
Well,
taking
that's
care of
right.
people.
And it
And
gets easier as they get older.
oh yeah, for sure.
It doesn't necessarily get slower, but it gets a little easier.
Yeah, the conversations are a little more intense, I
Right.
think, but but other
But they're a
than that,
little more self-sufficient once they get up to those.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. So you've got a new Lifetime movie coming out. Comes out, I
Yeah.
think, here in a couple of weeks, right? Like the
On
20th.
September 20th on
Yeah.
Lifetime. Yeah, I
So the
believe it's
girl who
8 p.m.
survived the Alina Thompson story. So
Yeah.
so tell me what this is about.
So this is actually based on a true story.
Oh,
There was a headshot photographer in LA back in the 80s,
yeah.
and he used his photography as a way to lure women or young women to ultimately harm them. So
That's awful.
yeah, I know. And I wish it was something that still isn't happening, but unfortunately, there is still those scary things that are happening out there in life. But this story revolves around Alina Thompson, the girl who actually survived Bradford, which is his last name,
Right.
and kind of, I mean, obviously, we touch on the girls that didn't make it, and then the Alina who did. I play Jane McCabe, who is William Bradford's neighbor, and he actually takes my daughter, and he's the last person that has seen her, and so that leads the police into looking into him, and ultimately they find out that there's been plenty of women that he's harmed.
Does your character, are you also looking into him, or are you just passing that information along?
No, I approach him
Yeah, that's
because
what I figured.
I approach him and obviously report my concerns there, and ultimately find out that yes, he was the person that killed my daughter. And
Wow.
it's yeah, and it there's so many reasons why. First of all, I've never been part of a true story. I mean, I've done,
Yeah,
back in the day, I did kind of the docudramas where you do the
sure.
reenactment and that sort of thing, but not actually representing a person who has experienced such trauma.
Yeah.
And so I really wanted to be very respectful to that role, that it's, this
Yes.
is someone's personal story. And again, being a mom of three daughters, I can't even begin to
Oh,
imagine the horror and pain that this family has gone through. So um, or all the other families. I mean, there's so many people that were negatively affected by this
yeah.
person.
Yeah. And well, thankfully it's well in the past, but like you said, those people are out there. So
Yeah,
it's also a cautionary tale.
that's exactly it. And it's funny because I've talked to my daughters. I'm like, I don't ever ask them to watch what I've worked on. I
Yeah.
mean, it's fine if they do. It's great. I appreciate it. But this one, I said, this is something I really want you to see.
Yeah.
Yes, maybe this happened in the 80s, but this is still happening today.
Yeah.
And you need to be aware of your surroundings, and you need to be cautious as to these ads that you're answering, whether it be from a radio or from a newspaper, but now everything's online and so easily accessible. I know so many people that have been taken or thinking that they're auditioning for The Voice or that they're
Right.
auditioning, and they're not. So,
Well, unfortunately, we live in a world where people try to take advantage of you,
yeah.
and you
Yeah.
just have to be vigilant with that. But even then, you're not entirely safe.
I know, and I would love to say that I haven't been taken. I totally have made a mistake. I did a payment one time for something, and it was not legit. And I thought I had done all of my due diligence, and so those things do happen. And so I think it's really important that parents and their children, not necessarily young children, but
Yeah.
the teenage years especially, to be aware of your surroundings, and yes, your parents may come across as a little strict, but there's a reason for it, and they
That's
truly are
right.
looking out for your best interests. It's not it would be a very hard lesson to learn if it went the wrong way.
Well, and especially, back then, there was no cell phones or
I know.
internet, or it wasn't easy to get a hold of somebody.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
at least now we've got, some ways to stay in contact.
Yeah.
But, you know, as when I grew up in the 80s, and we would, be out, and our parents would know
Oh
the
yeah.
general area that we were in, but they couldn't get a hold of us real easy, and they didn't know for sure that we were actually there.
I know. I think most of the time we weren't where we said we were
That's
going to
right.
be. I lived right behind a mall, which also in of itself was, just kind of a lure to bring me out, and
Yeah.
probably not the safest place to be. But I lived right behind a mall that also there was a strip mall and then the actual mall. And in the strip mall, there was a payphone. And so whenever I would get in trouble or, grounded from the phone, I would just sneak out my backyard and go on the payphone and kind of go off and do my thing.
Yeah.
So and I was a good kid. Don't get me wrong. I wasn't,
Right.
I wasn't going out and getting into major trouble. I was
No, but
calling my boyfriend or my best
that's
friend,
just
but my
typical
parents didn't
kid
know where
stuff.
I was.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's scary. Lifetime does a really good job with those type of films. Like
Yeah.
they've got a little series that they do with kind
Yeah,
of
this is the Ripped from the Headlines series,
yes,
and this
ripped from the
one,
headlines.
yeah,
Yeah.
this one was done by Ashley Jones and Pierre David, and I have to say, I read a lot of Lifetime scripts, and
Yeah,
this
yeah.
was extremely well done and very respectfully done, and so
Well,
I'm really happy.
my oldest, my daughter, um, she watches two types of shows. So it's either Lifetime or Hallmark.
I knew you were going to say Hallmark was the other one. It's either love or murder, right? It's like there's no
That's
in
it.
between.
That's it.
Yeah.
But she said you have done several of both.
Yes, I have.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah.
Because I wrote it down. My husband's worst mistake.
Yes.
She was a big fan of that one.
Oh, good. I'm so glad. Thank you. How old's your daughter?
She just turned 31, and
Amazing.
she got kids of her own now.
Yeah.
So, but
That's
yeah, that's
great. No,
her guilty pleasure is kind of
I have
looking
another
back.
one coming soon too, so you'll have to tell her to watch out. It's
Ooh, yeah.
my how no, her husband's double life.
Oh, that's right. I saw that. That was. Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so that
She'll be
one's
all
coming out
about
as
that.
well. Right.
Well, and so the Hallmark ones that you've worked on, I'm guessing, were Christmas related.
Yes. Yeah, we do a lot of Christmas here in Canada. Ironically enough, we like to do it in the summer. I guess that's
I
fun
don't
to.
really understand that. Like, why wouldn't you do it during the winter and just show it the next winter?
Well, a couple of reasons. Well, first of all, we're doing them all year long, really. It's
Yeah,
not just in the
yeah,
summer. They shoot all year long and all over Canada. A lot in BC. We have some in Hamilton, Ontario,
yeah,
Ottawa, up north in the Sudbury area. They're all over.
yeah.
But the reason that we don't, I think, shoot as many in the winter is because it's so unpredictable.
Right.
Um, but also it's so cold. I mean, do you want to hold a camera? You can't wear gloves when you're holding a camera. That poor
Oh,
crew. I
that's
mean, at least us
true.
as performers, we can go kind of warm up and come back. But I can't imagine being outside setting up lights
Yeah, I
and
guess I never thought of the crew. Of
it's so
course,
cold.
it's hard on
It's
the
so
crew.
cold. Yeah, and even me as a performer, I have those hot packs. I paste them all over me. When I'm like changing wardrobe at the end of the day, there's just these hot packs going everywhere. And that's in the fall. So
Oh,
I
that's
can't
funny.
imagine what dead of winter.
I just assumed it was like a rule if you were an actor in Canada, you had to do a Hallmark movie.
I mean it's kind of important. You just
Yeah.
have to have that on your bucket list. But also I love Hallmark films and I always have, especially Hallmark Christmas. They play in our household all the time.
Well, it's
Like
it's the it's going to end with a happy ending. And that's
exactly,
kind of
exactly.
comforting, I think.
It is. It is. And I mean, my kids have watched them for so many years too. And it's funny, they kind of mock it a little bit, but at the same time, I know they love it. So they'll be like, oh, gee, I wonder if they'll end up together. And I'm like, I know they will. And
Of
so
course
there
they
is,
will.
I know.
Did I see that you were involved with a film festival?
Yeah, so I've been running a film festival for a few years now
Oh,
called the
neat.
Eye to Eye Film Festival. I joined them back in 2020. 2021
Yeah.
was their first year, and then took over as director just 3 years ago. Love that. I have taken a bit of a step back. I'm staying with them in terms of the board, but it's been a busy couple of years,
Yeah.
and I think it's time for someone to step into someone new, some new blood into the director role as well, and make some changes there. But also, I live 3.5 hours away from it. It's in my hometown, which is why have such a passion and
Yeah, but
desire to kind of.
that's tough when you're that far away because you
It
can't get
is,
there
it is.
quickly.
Yeah, I mean, a meeting is, 7 hour round trip without having the meeting.
Yeah,
So
right.
it was getting to be a bit much, but no, I'm still very, very involved and supportive there, and we're working on what's happening
Love
next
that.
year. And then I've stepped into assisting with the Forest City Film Festival here in London, Ontario, which is closer to home. And we actually have David Shore coming for the Lifetime Achievement
Yeah, yeah.
award ceremony on October 30th. He's the creator of House and Good Doctor, so he's coming. So that's been something fun to work on right now.
Yeah, it's exciting. Does
Yeah.
does does running those type of organizations, does it help you on the filmmaking side, or is it, does it
No,
yeah, go ahead.
not for me. It helps the filmmakers that are coming in. It helps
Yeah,
emerging
of
filmmakers.
course.
Kind of what we do is we create connections for them in mentorship programs and that sort of thing so that they can grow their career. And it gives an opportunity for already established filmmakers to showcase their work as well. So it's a pairing for them really. Um, in terms of anything for me for the film side, no, it's just kind of a giving back and providing opportunities for emerging filmmakers.
Yeah, but how neat. I
Yeah.
I love that. And with the entertainment business, it's all about connections.
Yeah.
Everything you do is about the connections that you make, or maybe the ones that you don't make.
I think it's really important. Yeah, I think I tell everybody, when you're learning a trade of some sort,
Right.
you're taking a little bit from each person and you're creating your own, I don't know, your own way of doing things, right?
Yeah.
And the same thing is with film. Take a little bit from each person you come across and then make it your own. But and the same as a performer. You're not going to
Yeah.
just follow, oh, I learned from, this teacher and he says I have to do this. Well, I have seen so many different coaches and so many different teachers, and I always take something from them, but I definitely don't take all of it. And then kind of create how I'm going to be on screen because ultimately you don't want to be the same as somebody else anyway. Then what's the
Oh, that's
point,
right. Yeah, you want to be
right?
unique.
You want to be yourself. You want to be
Yeah.
unique, and it's not about mimicking or copying or doing anything like that. So yes, the networks are important because I think you learn so much from each person you cross paths with. And sometimes it helps move you forward in the career. We have some establishing filmmakers. We have high school filmmakers even who this
Oh,
year,
neat.
they didn't go home with any awards, but they really connected with some incredible
Well, and that's
teachers
more
at the
important.
film school and that sort of thing. And they're working with them already. And so that's really cool to see.
I love that. Well, good for you. Yeah, that's
Thank
that's really
you.
good. I did
Thanks.
see you on Surreal Estates.
Oh,
Really enjoyed that one. I watched it because of
thank you.
Tim. I enjoyed him on. He was on a show
He's
called.
incredible, by the way, I
Oh,
have
he's
to say.
amazing. He
He's
was
so
on
amazing.
Winona Earp, which was created by a friend of mine.
Oh,
So, of
really?
course, yeah, I owned a couple of comic book stores in the '90s,
Okay.
and there was this writer from Eclipse Comics that lived locally, Bo Smith, and he would hang out at the store all the
Hmm.
time. And of course, that was back in the '90s, but we'd talk about these characters he was creating.
No
Eventually,
way.
he got Winona Earp made, and he's still living here in the area. So we were like, oh, that's good for
That's
both.
amazing. That's
But it kind of
amazing.
introduced me to Tim, and he's a fabulous actor.
I know. And I have to tell you, so I was only in there for a day for that shoot. It
Yeah.
was it was so quick, but it was their last day of season 3 filming. So I had auditioned for it. Ironically enough, I had auditioned for I think every episode for that season, which was crazy. I've never had anything like it. I was like, if I don't book something
I'm
on
getting in.
this series, I'm gonna feel really awkward. Um, but anyway, so I booked this role and I get there and I'm thinking, there's no way it's the last day of filming this entire season. Everyone's gonna be tired. No one's like, I'm probably gonna go in, do my thing, and leave. And I get to set it and I'm in the studio and there's probably 60, 70 people. And then there's me, like on a chair with all of the people behind me. I'm like, this is not nerve-wracking at all. And
No, not at all.
I don't normally get nervous, but everybody is behind the camera because it's just me in that scene, right? Because they shot their scene a different
Oh,
day.
how'd you do that?
And then it's just me on this chair. And I was like, this is so weird. Anyway, normally in that scenario you have a reader off camera, so it would
Yeah.
be like the first AD or somebody else would come in and read those lines. Tim actually came in and said, oh, I did this scene a couple days ago, I know this, let me sit in. And he sat across from me in the, like, he was working on other things, it's their
Yeah.
last day, but he sat in and read the off-screen lines for me, which is so not in the norm. And anyway, it was so appreciated. And I even wrote to his agent after. I was like, that was the kindest thing
I love
that
when actors do that.
I,
That
I
just
was, it was
support
so
each other.
wonderful. Yeah. And I mean, I'm coming in for a day and like I said, last day shooting. that was probably not on anybody's radar. And there he just popped right in. He was
You
like,
know,
"Oh,
when I think when you're number one on the call sheet and you set that type of tone, it
oh
makes
yeah,
everybody better.
exactly." And no wonder everybody I've talked to who worked on that production was just like, it was absolutely incredible. And the showrunner was so kind too. But yeah, just very, very kind human.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
I'm glad I asked about that one. It's got Sarah Levy's on there as well.
Yep. Yep. Met her
Yeah,
as well. She's lovely.
yeah,
Yep.
she's pretty good too.
Yeah.
That's not too bad. So,
Yeah.
at what point in your acting career did you start dabbling on the writing producing side?
Well, I started writing a couple of years ago.
Yeah,
The first thing I wrote was a Hallmark Christmas script, actually, which was kind of
awesome.
funny just because it was something I had always wanted to do. And that's kind of, sat to the side. And then I wrote something else and it sat to the side. But there was this one idea, this concept that I had that I was so passionate about. I have all these friends in their 40s and 50s who are going through like the second life right now. They're
Yes.
getting back into, or they're divorcing, their kids are moving on,
Yep.
they're going into online
A
dating
lot of us
and
have been through that.
getting into online dating and just going like, what is this insanity? Um, and so I wrote a show called Love in All the Small Places. And it's about this girl, Sasha. She's 40 and she's on her therapy mandated weekly date night with her husband, Jason. And Jason drops the bomb that he's leaving her for someone younger. And
Oh, no.
she's completely taken off guard, thinking, here we're doing therapy right now, trying to get our marriage to work,
Yeah.
and you're out. So her sister, Sasha's sister, and her best friend, so Taylor and Mo, they show up at her place, kind of pick her up and get her back on her feet and put her onto online dating. And so it's the fiascos
Oh,
that ensue of kind of getting back out there and learning what ghosting is and learning what
oh, that sounds it sounds hilarious,
catfishing is. And
actually.
yeah, so it's a comedy, but if, there's some romance in there too. And anyway, it got picked up and we got greenlit by Bell and we start shooting. Ironically enough, I just said how I'd never want to do this, but we're shooting in December. So
Get those
so
hot
that
packs ready.
I mean, Costco, thank goodness for Costco. That's all I can say. They're going to be just
Well,
taped everywhere.
congratulations, because it's not
Yeah.
normally it's not that easy. Not that it was easy, but that's fairly quick to get
It,
something.
it was, it was. So I'm truly grateful. I have some amazing people already connected to it, and I'm really excited I haven't released that
And
information yet,
but
but
it's a show. It's going to be a show.
it's a web series, so there's
Oh, web
shorter
series. Yeah,
episodes.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's shorter episodes, but yes, yeah,
Any, you're just filming now, so we're talking probably at some point next year we'll have that out.
it'll be out next June.
Ooh, that's
Yeah.
pretty exciting.
I know. I'm really excited. Yeah. And I get to work with people that I want to work with. So,
Yeah. Yeah. Did you have control of casting and all of that?
yes.
Yeah, yeah. And you're
Yeah.
directing as well?
I'm co-directing and co-producing along with a friend of mine, Rebecca Heron from
What's
Rusty
that
Kettle
like when
Productions.
when you haven't directed before?
So I
Have
have
you ever?
shadow directed.
Okay,
Um,
okay. So
I
you've
wanted to
been
learn how to do
yeah,
that.
you've been
I've
learning.
also shadowed in production studios and
Okay.
that sort of thing to learn. Yeah, so I do know what happens on that side. And I think also having the performer, having the actor side of it, I know what the expectations are. My only concern was I was not prepared to fully step into directing myself. And so I wanted to make sure that there was someone on the other side of the camera that could see what the framing looks like and could still see my performance.
Well, yeah,
Um,
you
yeah,
want to make sure you've got a soft landing for the
yeah,
first one, and especially when it's a
exactly.
good one, you don't want to mess that up.
I don't want to mess it up. Yeah, so I have a huge respect for and appreciation for Rebecca Heron, and her and I have worked together before. We worked together um, this last December and January. We shot in Sault Ste. Marie. I don't know if you've ever been or heard
No,
how cold it is there. It's the worst kind of cold. It's the coldest I think it is in Canada,
it's
is in
like
Sault Ste.
getting the bones cold.
Oh yeah. And ironically enough, it was it's called Broken Bones. And we shot at night in a dress. I was in a dress outside in the snow, and I was like, I'm never going to shoot in December again. And here
Did
I
you
am
do
shooting in
that?
December. I don't know what I was thinking. But it was a great group of people and it was a great script. And that's.
Well, that's usually what causes that.
I know.
You just can't say no to it.
I know you can't. No, I was very, very honored to be asked to be part of that one.
Are you acting in the Love as well?
I'm the lead. I'm Sasha. Yeah.
Oh, that's a lot of hats.
Yeah, that's why I said I wanted to co-direct as opposed to just fully
Yeah.
directing.
Well,
Yeah,
and the advantage there is yeah, when you're acting, you've got somebody that is on the
exactly.
same page that's
Yeah,
directing. So
yeah,
that's pretty great. And then I'm assuming when you're not in the scene, then you can direct.
exactly. Then I'll be behind the camera.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Is
Yeah.
your co-director an actor?
She is not.
Okay. Okay. So
But
she's
I
not
mean,
in it.
don't get me wrong, she has acted, but she's not an actor and she's actively a producer and director.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. Oh, I'm excited for that one, especially the
Great.
web series, because, part of the issue with, for us in the States with Canada is we don't get all of your content over yet. It's getting
Same
better.
here, just so you know.
Yeah.
On
Yeah.
September 20th, while you're watching Lifetime, I'm not seeing it.
Now that's terrible.
I know.
That's
But
terrible. Does it eventually make it over there?
it's usually about 6 to 12 months later.
That's the
Yeah.
same here. That's the
Yeah.
same here. And it's
So don't
getting
worry.
better. It's getting better, but I mean, Canada produces a ton of good stuff.
Yeah, we do.
I know. I know. Thank goodness for Kim's Convenience and Schitt's Creek and some of those that kind of
I know. Yeah,
opened the door a little bit.
they're amazing.
Yeah. Oh, that's exciting. That's exciting. Is there a genre that you haven't done that you would like to do?
I don't think so, actually. No, there isn't.
That's awesome.
No, that's not true. I haven't done like a historical piece, but I don't know that I'm super gung ho for that. Maybe. It depends on the script.
Well, usually with those or period pieces, it's at least the costumes are kind of fun.
Well, that's what I'd be looking forward to.
Yeah.
And I guess I mean I did technically wear some pretty great stuff on The Music Man. I mean the
Oh
hats
yeah.
and the dresses
Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
that sort of thing. But yeah.
Well,
It was snowing during that shoot as well. I'm not gonna lie. July 4th parade, it was
we're
snowing.
we're sensing a theme.
It's cold here. I don't know what to say.
You did I think it was like a mini series, but it was one called The Dark. You remember
Yes.
this one, right? So it had Kevin Sizemore plays
I was gonna ask you if you knew him.
I know Kevin. Yeah.
Yeah.
He was born a couple hours away from here, but in Princeton, West Virginia. And
Yeah.
yeah, he's been on the podcast and he's terrific. But yeah, I wanted
Kevin
to
is
mention that one because I'm a big fan of his.
Kevin is one of the kindest
Yeah.
and most talented humans I have met in this industry.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, he is just absolutely incredible. And I tell this story, but I'm going to tell it anyway, just because you haven't heard it.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know if your listeners have heard it, but I was shooting The Dark, and it was an earlier time in my career, not
Yeah.
super early, but I wasn't gonna say anything. My daughter's birthday was October 31st, and it was
Oh,
trick-or-treating, of course, because it's Halloween. And we were shooting on October 31st, like a pretty big scene.
yeah.
And I came into set that day, and we'd been shooting for a few weeks, but I came into set that day, and Kevin said, "Hey, isn't it your daughter's birthday today?" And I said, "Yeah, it is. Thanks for remembering." And he goes, "I got you." And he had the entire day flipped so that we would shoot me out in the morning so I could go home
Oh,
and
that's
be there
so
for
nice.
trick-or-treating and be there for my daughter's birthday. Yeah, it was an incredible thing to do. And again, like I didn't ask for it. He just did it. So
That
it was
doesn't surprise me.
yeah. And
Yeah.
he's very funny. Like he's a
Yeah.
little bit of a I don't want to can I say shit disturber? I don't know
Oh
if I can
yeah.
say okay, he's a little bit of a shit disturber. And so we're shooting that scene where like I'm his wife and I'm dead. Like I die. I just spoiler alert, sorry, but anyway, I die. And he's like putting his finger like up my nose and I'm like, "What are you I'm trying to be serious and dead here." And he's like, yeah. So, yeah, he's a funny dude.
That sounds exactly like him.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
His son's really talented.
I know. I know. They have a show together. Did you know that?
I did. I did. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's kind of neat, I think, when you see that in a family. I like that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're all in it in some different aspect. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like his
Oh, that's
wife as
right. Yeah,
well.
yeah, yeah. His
Yeah.
wife's involved too. Yeah, I forgot
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. They're pretty incredible.
Family affair.
Beautiful family. Yeah.
Well, good. I'm glad I asked about that one because yeah, I was like,
So yes, I do know him. He's wonderful. He's lovely.
that's pretty good. That's pretty good. Um, is there a so we went through genres. You may want to do a period piece.
Yeah.
Is there a genre that you would like to direct?
I do want to direct a rom-com. And I know I'm doing that this way, but I'd like to direct a rom-com feature. That's
Yeah, you
I'm
should.
really into trying to bring back that 90s, 2000s.
We need that.
Thank you. I keep
Those were the
saying this.
best movies.
I know. And I look back and I'm just like, I'm still so baffled why everything is either so serious or hero based or what. I'm like, can we just
Well,
have
we get a
some?
lot of bittersweet endings too,
Yeah,
and I just
I
want
don't.
some happy
I
endings.
just want some happiness, you know? It doesn't have to be Hallmark Christmas, but it could be, I don't know, like 51st dates.
Yeah.
You
Well,
know?
a lot of like there were at some point we decided, well, maybe things are ending too good. So that
No,
we have to have
can we
those
have some
kind of
happiness in our life?
yeah, there's kind of, ambiguous endings or it ends, but it's not the best ending, it's just kind of it's
Yeah.
just an ending. And I'm
Yeah.
like, no, life's hard. Give me the
I
good.
know.
I don't
We'd
care
like
how
to.
difficult the movie was. At the end, I want a happy ending.
Yeah. There you go. And I agree. I'm in the same boat with you. So that's kind of where and that was the purpose of also the show that I did or that I wrote. So wanting that, that fun again,
Yeah, the fun. I love that. How do you write? Like does an idea just come to you and you sit down and start writing? Do you
Yes.
dedicate like okay,
No, I have
so it's just
it makes no sense. I know people have like structure and they sit in a certain
right.
spot or they go to some people go to writing retreats or they have a hotel that they go to. No, I'm just like kind of lock myself in my office or I'll be on my bed or I'll be in the living room typing and I just sit and do it. I
Is
don't know
it
how else
is
to
it
explain it.
normally fairly fast when you get that? You just write until it's done?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think just because also I'm a huge dreamer. And I don't mean dream, I'm a dreamer in real life, but I'm also like a huge dreamer at night.
Yeah.
And I have the most insane, crazy, vivid, bizarre. Like my husband keeps telling me, Sarah, you can't tell people these things. Like you're out to lunch. And
I
I'm
think that
okay
means
with
you're
it.
creative.
And this is what I say to him. I'm just like, even while I'm asleep, these ideas are kind of coming to me. And so I finally just started putting them to paper and so far it's kind of working.
Yeah, that just means you're in the right field.
I think so.
You
I hope
can't even
so.
take a break when you're sleeping.
I know I can't. I can't. I have way too. I'm like, I need to put a book next to my bed, honestly, and just write them. But sometimes they make so much sense to me. And then as I'm actually like trying to put it to paper, I'm thinking that is so convoluted that I
Yeah.
don't think anyone else will follow this. So how can I tweak this a little bit? But
Do you have to do a lot of shoots where you're away from home for a little while?
I think one of the benefits of Canadian productions is that generally we kind of are between, 2 weeks to a month max.
Yeah, that's not bad.
And yeah, and even like a lifetime shoot, even being the lead, we're 12 days of shooting.
Oh, that's not bad
So
at all.
no,
Yeah,
it's
so
not.
I mean, not that being away from home for a couple weeks isn't hard, but
Yeah.
that's not terrible.
No, it's not. It's not. Like it's doable.
It's
It's
doable.
still hard, but
Yeah.
it's doable.
Do you come over to the States now? I know you were in Kentucky for a while, but
I
do you
come
still
to
come over here?
visit.
Yeah.
I am actually coming November 3rd. I'm getting a sneak peek premiere just for cast and crew for this new film that's coming out called Learning You.
Oh,
And Learning You is about a father and his autistic son and their
yeah.
relationship. It's probably one of the most beautiful films I've been part of. And the lead of the film is a dear friend of mine, John Wells, who is a father of an autistic son, and he's a huge advocate in the autism community.
Yeah.
And so to see him in this role is just incredible because he plays everything under the sun, usually like vampires and demons. And I mean, the guy's incredibly ripped and works out all the time. But to see him in this role
Yeah.
is a really beautiful thing because you actually see him. And I told him, I was like, it's the best performance I've ever seen out of him. It's a beautiful
That's
film.
amazing. Are you
Yeah.
in it?
I am. I have a small part in it.
Yeah.
I've worked with this production company 7 times now. They're a really
They're very
beautiful group.
familiar with you.
Yes, yes. So I was the lead for their film called A Father's Fight.
Yeah.
And anyway, but they've continued on producing and getting better and better and better every time. But this is by far their best film.
That has to be a good feeling when you have those relationships and they just keep coming back to you.
Yeah, it really does. But
Yeah.
you're so close. I mean, you become family when you work with people
Yeah.
like that. And I mean, those are my best friends.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love them
Love
all.
that. Yeah. It makes sense to me why people working on a film or a TV show together end up so close.
Yeah.
Because I mean, you're acting, but you're still involved in all these kind of intimate situations that if you weren't acting, they'd bond you together.
Yeah.
So it makes sense that people
Yeah.
get close on set because you hear that a lot, with actors. They're like, "Yeah, we're like a family," and people are
Oh,
like,
yeah.
"Come on!" I'm like, "Well, think about it. If you were in that
But
close
it's weird
quarters,
because sometimes you work with someone so intensely for like a 2 week to a 1 month period,
yeah,
and then you might not see them for 10 years. And it's
right,
such a bizarre experience because you're like, I feel like I still know you so well, and yet I haven't seen you in 10 years and I've met you for 2 weeks. It doesn't make sense. I realize that, but unless you've experienced it, it's a completely different situation. I
yeah,
will say, I just like I said, I was just at TIFF and I met up with a couple of people that I haven't seen in well, 5 years. I haven't seen them in
yeah,
5 years. And I can say that because we shot a film during COVID all together. And the way that we did it was this company came in from Texas and then they had to quarantine for however long
yeah,
before they could go in. And then they stayed at the Holiday Inn in Burlington, Ontario. And then we all came in, we all got tested, we all stayed there. And they built the entire mansion in the atrium of this Holiday Inn. They built it from
amazing.
scratch and built an apartment also in the atrium. And we lived and ate and worked in that
Wow.
spot because we had to bubble to do this film.
Yeah,
It was funny. There was a film that came out after called The Bubble. I don't know if you remember
yep, I
that, but
remember. Yep.
and I was like, they're coming in and they're testing everybody and they're doing all these things. I was like, that was us. That was us. We did that. We played sports on the weekends. They brought in art for us. They brought in karaoke and movies on the
Yeah,
weekends. And
that
because we
sounds kind of awesome,
it
actually.
was summer camp. Like it was the coolest experience. And then at night, because all of our rooms face the atrium, you could like wave to each other and yell to each other, and you could go down and go through the set. Like it was such a cool experience. Anyway, I ran
Huh.
into them at TIFF and we were just like, oh, we're family. Still the best experience we've ever had on a production
I've
because
never heard of an experience like that. That sounds
no,
amazing.
it was so neat. It was so neat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would
It's
take
called
that
Sorry About the
experience
Demon
even
if you ever
without
want to
the
look into it.
acting.
Pardon?
I said I'd take that experience even without the acting.
Yeah.
Really fun.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
So
that's
yeah,
awesome.
it's
Repeat what you said there. I kind
I
of.
just said it's called Sorry About the Demon if you ever want to
Oh,
look
sorry.
into
I
it.
saw that one on there. I wanted to ask you about that.
It's a horror rom-com. It's the weirdest and most insane creative script and we loved it. It was just such a weird and wonky but like fun script. Um
Weird's
yeah,
fun.
it is fun. I play this realtor. Sorry, like my husband and I have a real estate company and I do interior decorating. And so we buy this mansion and come to find out that it's haunted. And so we put out an ad and we find the most pathetic guy to rent it from us so that hopefully the demon will inhabit him and we can kick him out and then take our house back.
Then you get your house back.
Right.
Sounds reasonable.
I mean, it's only fair, right? But, and then, he has some experiences. So
Yeah, I'm gonna have to look that one up because
it's a fun one.
yeah,
It's a
it
fun one.
sounds fun.
Yeah.
That's good. That's good. Well, Sarah, thank you for taking a little bit of time. So the new one is The Girl Who Survived, the Alina Thompson story, and it's out on Lifetime September 20th.
Yes.
And I'm assuming they'll show it several times.
Oh yeah, I'm sure as well. Yeah.
Yeah,
The
yeah, yeah.
performances are pretty incredible, and I'm really proud of everybody in that
Well,
film.
you should be. Good for you. Yeah, I'll try
Yeah.
to because normally when I have people on the show, we try to watch that stuff as a family, and we got a pretty big group. So we bring them into the studio, and we can put about 20 of them in here at a time.
That's
So
amazing.
yeah, we're going to try to get together and do that, mostly because my daughter loves those Lifetime movies so much. But I'll send you some pictures from that.
Oh, please do. I'd really, really
I'll
appreciate
try to
that.
catch you on screen and then get you, on screen with all of us there. So.
Okay, that sounds great. Thank you so much for taking the time to talk with me. I really appreciate it. It was so lovely talking with you.
Oh, I
I feel like
appreciate
feel
that.
like I'm back home again.
Well, come visit anytime.
I probably will. I'll just show up in the studio and be like, "Can we watch that movie with your family
Yeah.
now?"
Yeah, come on. Yeah, just come
Sounds
on.
good.
Well, Sarah, a
Okay.
couple little things before
Yes.
we wrap up.
Hmm.
Anything else that you're working on that we can keep an eye out for?
I think we talked about
I think we hit everything, but
oh yeah, we
sometimes
did
I
okay.
miss stuff.
No, I think we did okay.
Oh,
Yeah,
very
just
good, very good. Okay,
auditioning and keeping busy that way right now.
that's right. That's right. Last thing, where can we find you on social media?
Honestly, the best way is Instagram, and it's just my name, Sarah Cleveland.
Well, Instagram's the nice one. Show us what you're doing, show us what you're eating. We're good.
Yeah, that's it. I have a website too, which I need to update, but
That's the
yeah.
hardest part. Everybody thinks that making the website is the hard part. It's not.
No,
It's
it's the
it's up.
updating.
Yeah, it's
Yes.
updating.
Yeah.
Yeah, it always
So
looks
Instagram.
great when it's first done,
Yeah.
but it gets out of date so fast.
Well, things change so quickly.
Yeah,
Like you're on to the next project, and the last thing you're thinking about is, oh, I need to, I
I
need to
need to put that
post
one
some
up
new.
there.
Well, and usually the posters aren't available until much later, so then you have to remember to go back and find the poster. And anyway,
It's a
changes names when it's in Canada versus the
you got to
US.
have a person to just do that for you.
I think that's a little out of my league, but but maybe one of these days
You
I'll
never
just knock on.
know.
My
Someday.
husband's right behind me here. I'll just knock and ask
That's
him to do
right.
it.
It's like, let him
Right?
do it. That'd be a good job for him.
Yeah, I think so.
I think so too. Well, all right. Hold on one second, Sarah. Sarah Cleveland, talented actress. And I have a feeling she might even be better as a writer. Time will tell, but I have that feeling. Love talking with her. She was terrific. Love the fact that she actually lived in Louisville for a while. Louisville's about a 3-hour drive from where I'm at. I'm in a little town called St. Albans. It's right outside of Charleston, West Virginia. But I got a lot of friends in Louisville. I go up there all the time. So that was a nice little connection that we had. The movie is The Girl Who Survived, the Alina Thompson Story. It's on Lifetime September 20th, and probably a bunch in the next couple of weeks after that. But make sure that you check that out and give Sarah your support, and then keep an eye out for Love in All the Small Places. It's a web series that should be out. I think she said early next summer, so like June next summer. So definitely keep an eye out for that. If you're finding us for the first time, thank you. So happy that you're here, and we'd love to have your support. It's easy to do. It's free. Our YouTube channel is MeisterCon Pod. Please subscribe. Those subscriptions really help us out, helps us to keep getting these terrific stars, and they don't cost you anything. Our website's meistercon.com. You can find over 1,000 episodes, audio and video versions on the website. If we're doing anything in studio, if we're going on location, covering a convention, anything we have going on, be on the website, meistercon.com. So please check us out there as well. Thank you guys so much. Till next time. Bye, everybody.